I'm 81 years old, and most mornings I wake up surprised that I still do. That sounds darker than I mean it, but it's the truth. I don't wake up with plans the way I used to. I wake up with memories and with a kind of quiet inventory of what's left. People ask me sometimes how much future planning I do now that I'm retired. Doctors ask it. My daughter asks it in her careful voice. Even the bank asks it in their own way. They want to know if I'm thinking ahead, if I'm being responsible, if I prepared. I usually nod and say something polite, but the real answer is more complicated. The truth is, I don't plan the future the way I once did. Not because I'm careless, not because I've given up, but because when you get to this age, the future stops feeling like a wide field and starts feeling like a narrow hallway. You can still walk down it. You just don't pretend it goes on forever. I live alone now. The house is too big, but I know where everything is. That counts for something. The mornings are quiet, no one rushing out the door, no one asking where their shoes are, just the sound of the kettle and the floorboards remembering my weight. I think about time more than I think about plans. When I was younger, I thought planning was the responsible thing. I thought if I stayed organized, stayed busy, stayed useful, everything would fall into place. I planned my career carefully. I planned my finances carefully. I planned vacations that we postponed. I planned conversations that I never quite had. I was good at planning for things that could be written down. I wasn't very good at planning for the parts of life that didn't come with a checklist. In my 20s, I didn't think much about retirement at all. None of us did. We talked about houses, promotions, raises. We talked about kids, maybe. We talked about someday. Someday was a word that felt generous back then. I worked a steady job. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. I told myself that was enough. I told myself that stability mattered more than enjoyment. I wasn't wrong. I just didn't realize how much it would cost me later. I remember coming home tired, sitting at the table, telling myself I'd talk to my wife after dinner, then after the news, then after tomorrow. She was patient, too patient probably. We didn't fight much. Um, that's something people misunderstand. You don't have to fight to drift apart. Drifting is quieter than that. In my 30s and 40s, I became very good at being busy. Meetings, overtime, errands. I convinced myself that providing was the same as being present. I thought the future would reward me for my discipline. And in some ways, it did. We paid off the house, we saved, we did what we were supposed to do. People said we were doing well. That kind of approval sticks with you. It can become addictive. I told myself there would be time later, time to slow down, time to enjoy what we built, time to talk about the things we avoided. Later always felt like a real place. It turns out later is a moving target. The cost didn't arrive all at once. It came in small, reasonable choices. Skipping a school play because of work, postponing a visit because there would be another weekend, letting silence settle because it felt easier than opening something heavy. I didn't notice the accumulation. You rarely do while it's happening. My wife started keeping more to herself. I noticed it, but I didn't name it. Naming things makes them real. I thought we were just tired. I thought it was a phase. Then one day, it wasn't a phase anymore. It was just how things were. The turning point didn't come with fireworks. It came with a phone call. She got sick. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just sick enough to change the shape of our days. Appointments replaced plans, medications replaced conversations. I remember sitting in the waiting room one afternoon, realizing I had no idea what she was afraid of. After all those years, I had never asked her in a way that made room for an honest answer. She died quietly, too quietly maybe. I was there, but I don't know if I was really present. I was still thinking in terms of tasks, what needed to be handled, who needed to be called. Grief has a way of stripping your plans down to nothing. After that, retirement arrived not as a reward, but as an empty calendar. People congratulated me. They told me I'd earned it. They asked what I was going to do with all my time. I didn't know how to answer them. I had planned financially. I had planned practically. I had not planned emotionally for the silence. At first, I tried to treat retirement like a project. I made lists. I scheduled activities. I told myself I just needed structure. But structure doesn't replace meaning. It just fills the hours. The days stretched out. Friends were busy with their own lives. Some were already gone. Others were tired in the same way I was. but we didn't know how to say it out loud. That's when I started thinking about the future differently. When you're younger, planning is about expansion, more, bigger, further. Now, planning feels more like narrowing. What matters, who matters, what I can still hold without it slipping through my fingers. There are things that can't be fixed. I can't go back and ask better questions. I can't sit at the table with my wife and choose presence over productivity. I can't teach my younger self what I didn't know how to hear. Some relationships have thinned beyond repair, not because of anger, just because of time. I'm not saying this to punish myself. I don't believe much in that anymore. I'm saying it because pretending otherwise would be dishonest. When people ask me now how much future planning I do, what they're really asking is whether I'm afraid. I am, but not in the way they think. I'm not afraid of dying tomorrow. I'm afraid of drifting through whatever time I have left without noticing it. So my planning looks different. I plan small things, a walk in the morning, a call with my daughter where I listen more than I speak, a meal I actually sit down to eat. I plan to tell the truth when someone asks how I'm doing, even if it makes them uncomfortable. I plan to leave the house sometimes, even when it feels easier not to. That may not sound like planning to most people. But at this age, intention counts. If you're listening to this and you're younger than I am, I won't tell you what to do. I don't have the authority for that, and I don't want it. I'll just say this. I spent a long time planning for a future that arrived without the things I thought would automatically come with it. Connection doesn't accumulate on its own. Neither does presence. You don't notice what you're postponing until it's no longer available. If you're already retired, you may recognize some of this. If you're not, you may think you have more time than you do. I thought that too. I don't know how much time I have left. No one does. But I know it's less than I've already lived. That changes the math. The future for me now is not a grand plan. It's a series of deliberate moments. Some days I do better than others. That's all I can offer. If this meant something to you, you can sit with it for a while. You don't have to fix anything right away. Just notice what you're assuming will wait. As for me, I'll keep making tea in the morning. I'll keep walking the same streets. I'll keep remembering the things I wish I'd done differently without letting them harden me. There's not much future left to plan for, but there's still time to